Hey my friends, welcome back. It's Deb from Bowl Me Over. I hope you had a wonderful Easter. One of my favorite parts of Easter is, of course, the leftovers. I've been known to show up at my brother's house, hoping to get that ham bone to make soup. Today though, we're going to make scalloped potatoes. Scalloped potatoes is a wonderful addition, you know, if you're having ham or turkey, but it's also a great way to use up some leftover ham. So what I have here, about 2 cups of leftover ham. We had a smoked ham at the house. I have some potatoes. I'm using russet potatoes. I'm gonna scrub them up really good in the sink and peel them. If you were using baby red potatoes or Yukon Gold, you know, honestly, you wouldn't even have to do that. Personal choice. No big deal, you can go either way. The next ingredient we're gonna need is a cream of chicken soup. We're gonna use some evaporated milk, cream cheese, ranch dressing. It's a great way to get all the seasonings all into one. You will love this casserole. And then some cheese. This is a mix of mozzarella and cheddar cheese. You could also use like a cheddar jack cheese. You could use just cheddar cheese. Really, this is about using up that ham, using what you have on hand. So if you didn't have cream of chicken, you could certainly use cream of mushroom. Didn't have evaporated milk, use some whole milk, some heavy cream and regular milk, you know, mix them together, you're good. Make it work for you, okay? So let's get started. We're gonna start with peeling the potatoes. I'm gonna wash up some potatoes and peel them, and then we're gonna slice them and get this going. See you in a minute.
Okay, so y'all know how to scrub potatoes, I'm sure, but I'm going to scrub these up really good. Even though we're going to peel them, I want to make sure they're nice and clean before I start working with them. And then next up, we're going to peel the potatoes. And now you may peel them in the sink. I don't do that because the last thing you want are peels to go down your garbage disposal. That's like a surefire way of clogging your garbage disposal. So let me finish up here scrubbing these potatoes. I'll be right back.
Okay, so I have all my potatoes peeled or scrubbed. Now it's time to peel the potatoes. Some people use a potato peeler. I find I have better control with a knife, and I know I lose more of the potato that way, but I have cut myself with a potato peeler more often than I've cut myself with a knife. Though I have done my share of cutting myself with a knife, I might add, but that works best for me. I use a paper towel underneath just to kind of collect the skins. So just hang tight with me for a quick minute. I'm gonna peel those potatoes and I'll be right back. Okay, when it comes to slicing the potatoes, you don't have to do anything fancy. I slice them in a little bit, maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 inch slice. If you prefer, you could also dice the potatoes. A 1/4 inch is about right for me. If you slice them any thicker than that, again, a little over a 1/4 inch, it may take longer to bake, so you'll just have to keep an eye on it. So let me slice up the remaining potatoes. Oh, I was gonna say one thing real quick. You know, like, I missed a few pieces when it comes to the peel. That's okay. I'm more about like some rustic home cooking, so if it bothers you, make it perfect. That's totally up to you. Okay, so our potatoes are diced. We're looking really good there. Now it's time to build the sauce. If you wanted to do this ahead of time, you would need to soak these in water, but we're gonna make the sauce real quick, throw this casserole together. So I'm gonna leave these here for a quick minute. We're gonna go over to the stove and we're gonna put the sauce together. Okay, so now it's time to make the sauce. In a medium saucepan, I have a cube of 8 ounces of cream cheese. And I have it on medium heat, a little medium high heat. And to that cream cheese,
I'm going to add a couple of things, and this is for the amazing sauce. The first thing we're going to add is a can of evaporated milk. And next up is the cream of chicken soup. Got to get that out of the can. There we go. And lastly, the ranch seasoning. You can use your favorite ranch seasoning. You just need 1 packet. And I am going to melt the cheese, melt the cream cheese, mix this together, and actually use a whisk until it's nice and creamy. Okay, so see where we're at? The cream cheese isn't completely melted, but it's darn close. It's this is super thick, super creamy. It's exactly what we're looking for our ham and potato casserole. So let's get this off the stove and build our casserole dish. See how easy that sauce was? Just like that, it's done. So now it's time to build our casserole. Guys, I think you're really gonna like this. It's, you know, it's like not only a great use of leftover ham, but it's also super fantastic. You can use it as a meal, in my opinion, or as a side dish, maybe with just a great salad. And if you're making something else up, it's just so easy to make. A great use of leftovers. It's super affordable, and I love that part. Anytime you're tossing those leftovers, you might as well just throw food down the drain, right? Okay, so I'm starting with I put a couple layers of sauce in the bottom of my casserole dish. I also sprayed it with a nonstick cooking spray. And I'm just gonna kind of lay out our potatoes in a nice even layer. And I want to use about 1/3 of my potatoes for this. And what we're gonna do is build amazing layers of flavor here, and it's gonna be fantastic. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna add about 1/3 of my ham, or about half my ham, excuse me, about half my ham. And again, that's just about 2 cups of ham. I'm gonna add, oh, excuse me, can't forget our sauce that we worked to make. I'm gonna add about 1/3 of our sauce. I'm gonna build another layer. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the cheese. More potatoes. And I'm just kind of carefully placing them on because it's easy for the potatoes to kind of stick together. And I want it to be even layers with, you know, like flavor between each one. So that's kind of why I'm doing that there. Perfect. Do 1 more there. The remaining ham. I could, I suppose, mix the ham in with the sauce, but I never have. I like to be a little more, you know, like I know where everything goes kind of thing. Another couple ladles of sauce. Perfect. And then the last of the potatoes on top. I don't make this often because it is so decadent, but boy, if, you know, like Sunday supper, yeah, this is good food. Dan says this is the food of his people. His people are mainly Irish and English, but yeah, it's the food of his people. Okay, I'm gonna use the last of my sauce on top, and I can tell right now I need a spatula because I don't wanna miss any of that goodness on this casserole. All right, put ham right there and get the rest of my sauce out of the dish. Perfect. Make sure. Oh yeah, that's good. Put that right there. And I'm just going to take a moment. It doesn't have to be perfect. And just kind of smooth it out on top so there's
a little something on every bite. It may look like there's not going to be enough sauce, but there is. As it heats up, it becomes all molten and delicious, so it's going to be plenty. Cheese goes on top. And I actually shredded a little more than I needed, so I very well may not use quite all of this, but I had just little bits left of a couple of different, yeah, actually, I think I'll just use it all. A couple of different ends of cheese, so I was like, that works. And again, if you don't have mozzarella and cheddar cheese, you could use, gosh, you could even use Swiss cheese. You could use some Parmesan mixed in there. Super yummy. Okay, how easy is that? I'm gonna put this in the oven. 350 degrees, it can take about an hour and a half. So it takes a little bit, which is why I was saying like a Sunday supper kind of thing. But once it's done, you know, it reheats really nice in the microwave, or in the, actually the microwave or the oven. So I'm gonna put it in the oven. I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, I just pulled the ham and potato casserole out of the oven. It's been baking for an hour and a half. It is screaming hot. I did like I haven't pulled the whole thing off, but I did tip this just so I didn't get the steam bath, or the steam burn, I might add. But see how gorgeous that is? It's nice and hot and bubbly, but we're not done yet. It's fine just the way it is, but we're gonna make it look a lot prettier. I have my oven, I canceled the bake, I turned it on broil, and I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm gonna watch it really carefully. I want that cheese to be nice and golden brown, and that happens when you tuck it underneath the broiler. I have it on the second line down on the broiler, so let me put that in there. It's gonna take probably 2 minutes. It's gonna depend each on your individual oven, so a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. Watch it carefully. Don't leave the kitchen. Turn your oven light on, and let's see how long it takes, okay? Back in a minute. Okay guys, see? That's exactly what I was talking about. See how nice and golden brown that is now? That is perfect. I would love to taste test this, but I'm gonna let it cool. And this is a casserole. It is, when I say flippin' screaming hot, I mean flippin' screaming hot. I'm gonna let this cool for about 15. You can let it cool as long as 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. It will be just fine because it is that hot. I'm gonna let it cool. I'm going to cover it lightly with foil and just and that's gonna cool down the sauce. It's gonna bring the flavors together. Just gonna set it aside. I'll be back to test it in a minute. Okay guys, the moment of truth. Doesn't that look amazing? Oh goodness. I do like the crunchy, perfect part, but I think I'm gonna save that for dinner tonight. Just gonna use my spoon and scoop up some of this deliciousness. Ooh, I missed that piece of ham. It has my name written all over it. Doesn't that look great? Oh, it's still pretty hot. Mm. It's still nice and hot, but holy cow, is this savory goodness. The sauce is thick and rich. Potatoes are perfectly tender. That 4 minutes it took just to bubble that top of that casserole and brown the casserole, that makes all the difference in the world. So make sure you do it, okay? I'm gonna save this for dinner tonight. But it's a great way to use up leftover ham. I also have some great soup recipes for ham. I'll link them below, but the ham and bean soup, phenomenal. I swear it's the best one out there. And it's a soup that's been in our family for generations. You can make deviled ham, that's super yummy recipe as well. I'll put that down below. I hope you enjoyed this. It is a fantastic, I would call it a meal. You can call it a side dish. for sure we'll both call it delicious, okay? Thanks for watching today. You can find me on bowlmeover.com. Check out Facebook, check out Pinterest, over on TikTok, all the things. We'll see you soon. I appreciate your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.